y'all on first. I need to bring everybody else up on board. We gonna do that. We got YouTube in the house. Now we're about to move to our Facebook page, Gye-Nyame Journey. You want to see it live? Call lines will be open. I'm working on that right now. Let me put this. Brother, hi Tim. I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm running late. I always got a reason. Always got a reason. Ladies, I asked y'all to go to bed. Okay, I'm gonna be picking up cars in a minute too. Keep on playing with me. We about to start, family. I'm just typing in Folktales for grown folks. I should have this ready. But I got excited, and then I found out I made a big faux pas, so I apologize. What's the date today? 1-2-3-1-8-2. That's all I got time to put. Let's go live. Let's go live. We starting. Alright, everybody. Everybody in the house, except for Instagram. They always slow. Alright, family, let's go get this party started. Let's see. What music? What's up, fam? Welcome, welcome. Man, I did the t-shirts today. I'm so ashamed. I did the t-shirts today, and it didn't turn out at all because I did the whole thing wrong. So I had to go in and cancel the whole store. But I will work on that when I get back. I will work on that after the show to get everything done. I'm trying to have everything up before the show. But you know, sometimes life happens. And when it happens, we have to adjust. So this gives us a little time to go on and wrap the tape just a little bit.
All my brothers and sisters, hold hands and bow your heads. Let us pray. God and anything under the mic. Just let my God. How long we just done that person of the religion? I say, in the morning, Bob, just to the need. The little boy need. I like to hand the wicked. They don't die. People they understand. It's all on the all down. They should have put out of court. I said, you're God. It's all on the work of the Most High. But you shall die like that.
What's up, Miss Keandra? Thanks for joining us. I don't know who this is on Facebook right now, but thank you. Thank you those on Spreaker. Now or in the future. Get some water in y'all, family, because I know how y'all been working. I know y'all been out there working hard. So get that water in you, because we about to have us a real conversation.
This is Kabara Franks, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Greetings. How you been doing? I ain't seen you in a couple of days.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com.
This is Adnan Sheikh, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Lines are open. 614.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. Check us out.
614-556-5555. 4535. For those who want to get on the list, text list.
This is Adnan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
300 1875 hashtag GNJ. Miss Tiandra says, I've been catching the playback. Thanks for noticing. Been missing y'all in the morning. Catching it live is definitely where it's at. Hey, we about to kick it, because I got
You
something
are
for
now
y'all.
listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with Monica. Enjoy.
I had some texts that went out. I was hoping that y'all got them, but I didn't see what's going on.
Journey Radio.
I don't think. Alright, let's see.
This is Willie. Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give shout out to Silver Kevin, all my Silver Nation out there. I want to give shout out to my mom. I give shout out to Zach, who raised me and my family for being around me. And I want to give shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
Okay, cool. Alright, cool. They went out. You might be being joined by one of my brothers that's an author as well. And a family
This is
poet.
Cleveland, and you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Peace, Hotep. It's Mansour Hotep, aka Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity, does it sound good? I think it sounds great. Right now, you listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry his name. This is Brother Hatem coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shouts out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. Peace.
One down. Come on now, get your water. Well, we're gonna do a nightcap here. It's ambrosia. Let's go and sip on a little ambrosia for a couple minutes before we take some more water in. Alright. I like hearing my baby, so I'm gonna let it play all the way out so I hear my babies go. And then we're gonna get jumping off in the Gye-Nyame fashion.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry his name. This is Brother Hatem coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shouts out to Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Peace.
Come on, y'all. Come on now. Move your body.
This is Gina. And you are now on Gye-Nyame Radio. Peace.
Alright. It's about to end. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Y'all heard the man. The man was me. And I said, I have had enough. I had enough. Alright, so today, you know, it's Folktales for grown folks. So, family, I'm going to post up on the timeline real quick the call-in number for those that want to join the conversation. I got 2 stories for you, 2. No, I got 1 story, 1 fable. It's not, the story I'm going to tell you is not a folktale because the folks don't tell it. This is a story that comes from my life. So I'm going to tell the story. But first, let me put the lines up. So the number, just in case somebody want to join, call in. at 614 556 4535. Alright, so you already know, it don't even matter for me how many people's on here. So now, here's the story. Alright, the first story. I hope you don't have sensitive ears, because this one is called, and I said it before, Where You See Shit. That's the name of the story. I know y'all like, oh, Brother Hot Tim, you're so vulgar. But listen to the story. Listen to the story, right? Well, first, before I even get into the stories, shouts out to Hugh Masekela. He has graduated and made it to the ancestral realm. So we want to lift up our glasses to Hugh Masekela. For those who don't know who that is, he's a great musician. Oh my God! So I mean, Elder Hugh was cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. All right. So now, back to the story. So here we go. Now this is based on a true event, right? So I had an elder, man. One of my elders, man, he was wise and very shrewd, and he knew how to make things happen. So, which is another story. I definitely got a story for that one. But this one, my elder had convinced me that I need to go up to a prison once a week and teach a class. Right? So I started out in like the summer. I drove through the summer up there. It was like an hour and a half drive, hour 15-minute drive. So I drove up there once a week, and I drove through the summertime, and I watched the fields change, and I watched the grass, change. I watched everything, and halfway in between the prison and my house was this fruit stand, and they had a massive farm in the back. And I would stop at this fruit stand because those that know me, y'all know I got sleeping issues. So I would fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? I'd fall asleep. That's a major issue that I got going on in my life. You know what I'm saying? And But anyway, I would pull over so I could get some rest. So I would leave early enough so I could get there on time. And then on the way home, I would stop. Right? So we driving through the summer. And in the summer, this thing is popping off. I'm just ignoring it now. And when I see it's too crowded, I try to keep going and maybe stop at a little restaurant and get some rest. But I always like stopping at this spot. It was just something about, the real peaceful vibe that was there. So I drive up to the prison. I drive back. In the summer, I drive up through the prison through the fall. Drive back. Drive up during the wintertime. Drive back. Drive back during spring. Drive back. And then as spring moved into summer, I noticed that the place opened on the way back one time. So, it was kind of crowded. So I said, well, hell, let me stop. I'm tired. Let me look at some apples or some shit. I don't know. I don't know what they selling here. But it's a nice place. So I stopped. And, after I look around a little bit, I jump in the car and I drive off. So, this was a pattern. So one day, the guy that owned the stand looked at me. And he looked at my license plate. He said, I noticed you from Columbus. I said, yes, sir. Old white dude. I said, yes, sir, I'm from Columbus. He said, oh, man, I used to live in Columbus, too. I said, oh, yeah? He said, yeah. I said, well, how you end up out here? He said, glad you asked. Right? So, we start talking a little bit, he joking around and stuff, and he beating around the bush. He ain't telling me why. So, I get into, what brings you out this way? He said, well, I go up to the prison up the street and I talk to the dude. So, okay, you work with people. Well, that's good. So I said, well, you never told me how you ended up out here, because, he gave me some free fruit and stuff, and we was drinking coffee, and I'm just chilling because I ain't got the rush to be nowhere. Right? So, I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm chilling, and he finally tells me, he said, I lived in Columbus for a very long time. As a matter of fact, because he was an older white dude, he said, as a matter of fact, I was the head of one of those big companies downtown. You know, I won't go into the name of the company. But I said, that don't explain to me how you ended up out here. He said, well, listen, I'm going to tell you how I ended up out here. He said, well, young fella, being a CEO, your life is full of shit. I said, okay, well, we getting personal quick because, you know, we cussing now. Okay, cool. I'm getting a little bit more relaxed. I'm seeing the real you now. All right, I'm with it. He said, you know, I would work every day, and shit would always pop up. And I was constantly stressed, and my marriage was shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always working, and my children's behaviors and their attitudes were shit. So, wow, you know, there's a lot of shit around you, man. He said, yeah, exactly. That's my point. And one day, I got real upset at work. Decided to come home early. And I came home early, went to my house, made me a sandwich, and sat down, and the TV was on. I don't know who left the TV on, but the TV was on. And this old show was on. And, you know, when I was young, he said, when I was young, I never had time to really watch TV because I was always out in the world. I was trying to get it. I was doing what I was told I was supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be a businessman. You know what I'm saying? I started a couple of businesses. I eventually became the head of a business, and I was making real good money. But I never really took time to really enjoy life, you know? And I'm sitting down, and this TV show was on, and it was called Green Acres. He said, you remember the show? I said, I'm old enough to remember Green Acres. He said, you know, so he started singing the song, Green Acres is the place for me. Farm living is the life for me. Land spread it out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me the countryside. I said, I know the song. I know the song. All right. He said, well, anyway, that show was on, and I just sat there and I watched it, and I said, well, I'm not satisfied with how I'm living my life now, so he said, fuck it. I'm already in a bunch of shit. I might as well take some money and go buy a farm. I quit my job. I bought this farm right here. It wasn't as big as it is now, but I bought this farm. I knew absolutely nothing about farming, and I thought if that dude on the TV could do it, I could do it too. So I went out to the farm, any experience. I moved my family out to the farm. I lost my family. I lost buku amounts of money trying to get this farm together. I had to hire people to come and farm for me because I didn't know what I was doing. And I noticed the animals are just running around shitting everywhere. So I just started scraping up the shit. And I started putting it in piles. And the farmers would come by, you know, just to check on me. And they would see the pile of shit. And they'd look at it and be like, hey, you know, fella, what you doing with that? Shit. You don't want it? And I didn't catch on at first. So they would come by and just pick up the shit. And I'm like, you gonna take the shit away? Gonna take the shit away. You know what I'm saying? And at that point in time, I knew absolutely nothing about what a farmer does. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to escape my life. So I moved from one pile of shit into another pile of shit, not really understanding what was going on. I said, wow. Once again, that's a lot of shit. And he started laughing. I said, yeah, my life was surrounded with shit. I didn't understand. Until one day, an older farmer came by who wasn't going to try to take advantage of me. Like all these other farmers, they was just coming and taking the shit and just hauling off. He said, young man, do you not understand that you are giving away? Do you not understand what you're giving away? I said, no, I don't understand what I'm giving away. And then he looked at me and said, do you understand what I was giving away? I don't know nothing about farming either, sir. He said, come on, take a walk with me. So, you know, I'm getting kind of suspicious, you know, because people leaving and shit. And this old white man want me to walk with him on his farm. I said, fuck it. You know, you can't be that tough. So I'm walking with him. And he walking me towards this big pile. I thought it was dirt until we got close and my nose, my eyes start watering and shit. You know, that real strong smell. He said, son, You know what I'm saying? Because I'm wondering, what did the old farmer tell him? He said, I brought you around here to not tell you, but to show you what the old farmer told me. What is that right there? And I'm crying, I said, sir, I think that's a pile of shit. He said, that's just what I said. It's just a pile of shit. He bent down and he picked it up and he squished it in his hand. I'm like, this motherfucker's crazy. He crazy. Playing with shit. Right? He said, but that old farmer told me, he said, son, your problem is that you don't understand that you are a farmer. You are an alchemist. You should learn how to see what's really in front of you. You see, this pile right here that you giving away for free, well, you see shit. I see fertilizer. And that one little bit of advice changed my life. And our young boy, if you get this, say, hold on, call me boy. Oh, excuse me. Young man, if you get this right now in your life, because I was younger than you, this will change your life. See, if I knew this when I was running the Fortune 500 company, when I was a CEO, if I understood what shit really was, I would have transformed the shit that I was dealing with every day. I would have transformed the shit in my marriage. I would have transformed the shit from my children. I would have transformed the entire shit because all my life I've been seeing shit and I've been getting irritated and I want to get rid of the shit. But as a farmer, I finally learned that where everybody else sees shit, for me it became fertilizer. This stuff that you overlook, I take out my fields and it helped make my life a whole lot better. My crops started growing, my animals started getting fat. I've been making money ever since. I said, wow. He said, but I hope you getting the lesson. Because you told me you work with people right down there at that prison. And do you know that a lot of people look at those men in that prison as shit? And you going in amongst the shit every day? But hopefully if you heard me, you will understand that you're not working with shit. You're working with fertilizer. And you said that, you work with kids too. They give you a lot of shit, don't they? No, sir. I got the lesson. They give me a lot of fertilizer. Family, a lot of shit that we think we dealing with is not shit at all. It's fertilizer. It's putting our lives to make us strong. The only problem is that through our perspective, we can only see the shit. We can't see the value of it. All that time he was letting those animals eat up the food that he had to buy from other people to bring in, and that animal would ship the food out and he would just ship it off rather than taking it and spreading it out in his fields. And then spreading it out in his field, he started growing enough food to feed his animals. How much shit is you giving away? How much fertilizer are you looking right past? You're refusing to see because you're mad. You're refusing to see because you're sad. You're refusing to see because you're depressed. You're refusing to see all of the fertilizer that life is providing for you to move to your greatness. You understand? This is what our culture is about. Our culture has always been about transforming one thing into another. Alchemy is a major thing for us. It was a real thing for us. It's not no philosopher's stone that we had to figure out. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's just common wisdom. It's folk wisdom that helps us live our lives and transform what other people will perceive as troubles, as stepping stones, sadness. Help us transform it into joy. Help us transform the very basic things that make life hard for us into things that make life worth skipping about. So every now and then when you are faced with a pile of shit, metaphorically of course, realize that you are actually standing in the presence of fertilizer. If you just change your view. Now that's my story. That's in my book called, what is that book called? The Lost Art of Storytelling. Right? So, I just felt like sharing that. If you like that story, throw a thumb up, share, share, like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Now, family, it's time to get into the story of the night. Alright? Now, those that are new to the Folktales for Grown Folks, please understand that this is just not about storytelling. This is about using the tools that our ancestors used to help move people to the next level in their life. Storytelling is a technology. I even argue that it's the first technology that we were able to harness to help move us from one stage of life to a whole nother stage of life. So when you're listening to these stories, family, please understand that I'm not just talking about sparrows, strangers. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about different aspects of you. And from these stories, you can use them to build the life that you want. You can use them to make changes in your community. You can use them to empower you to move into our principles and live your life in fullness. Why is this saying off air? What? Wow. Oh, okay, cool. Alright. So y'all ready for the story? Let me take another sip. I'm trying to keep it up under half an hour. But like I said, now, when you're listening to a story, listen for you. Each story has a message for each of us. And our ancestors' stories are layered. So we, at different levels of our life, we get different meanings from the stories. So family, just get what's there for you. Take it, hug it, work with it, allow it to transform you, and maybe even you be able to transform it. Because for a long time we had a tradition of changing the stories. See, because the way I tell a story, the way I read the story is not the way that you have to retell a story. You understand? Take the story, make it your own, shape it and mold it so that you can get every little piece of wisdom that's in it for you. A lot of times, because we skimming over stuff, because we're learning to be shallow, and we're learning how to get everything quick and try to do everything quick, we miss out on the gifts that are in these stories for us. So this is why I started doing this story, because when I start reading these folk tales, I said, I gotta share this. When I really start looking at the proverbs and quotes, I said, I got to share this. You know what I'm saying? We got everybody sharing everything else. Why not grab some of the old wisdom? Why not grab some of the old stories and start putting them out there so that my family can grow from them? You know what I'm saying? Because we got some serious issues that our ancestors have already dealt with and solved. Let me say that again. We're dealing with some serious issues that our ancestors already went through and solved. So, let's go and see what problems they're going to solve for us today. So these stories don't just deal with the past, they deal with the present, and they deal with the future. So let's go and look and see. The title of the story today is The Spendthrift and the Sparrow. A young man, a great spendthrift, had run through all his patrimony and had one good cloak left. One day he happened to see a swallow, which had appeared before its season, skimming along a pool and twittering gaily. He supposed that summer had come and went and sold his cloak. Not many days later, winter set in again with renewed frost and cold. When he found the unfortunate swallow lifeless on the ground, he said, "Unhappy bird, what have you done? By thus appearing before the springtime, you have not only killed yourself, but you have wrought my destruction also." One more time, then we're gonna get into it. A young man, a great spendthrift, had run through all his patrimony and had but one good cloak left. One day he happened to see a swallow, which had appeared before its season, skimming along a pool and twittering gaily. He supposed that summer had come, and went and sold his cloak. Not many days later, winter set in again with renewed frost and cold. When he found the unfortunate swallow lifeless on the ground, he said, "Unhappy bird, what have you done? By thus appearing before the springtime, you have not only killed yourself, but you have wrought my destruction also." Alright, before I get in this, I need to let you know, you're now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey. This is Folktales for Grown Folks, and this is a Heart of December production, where we strive to blow up your old paradigm. Alright, so here we go. We're faced with a young man who had received a patrimony, which means he received a gift of money from his father. Maybe his father passed away, maybe his father gave him his stuff in advance, we don't know. But he received some money from the patriarch, from the father side of his family, and he wasted it all. After running through his money, he only had one good cloak left. One good cloak. And in wishfully thinking about the future, he saw a false sign. And it was one single sparrow playing around in the water on a slightly warm day. And he bet on it. He was looking for a reason to go out and get one last coin, and he sold the one thing that could protect him and save his life: the cloak. Now, and in selling the cloak, he doomed himself, but yet and still he looked for something to blame, so he blamed the bird, who was already dead. Now, this story right here is so apt for the situation that we are in as a people. I don't even know how to. Let's put it this way. I just feel so blessed and so honored to be able to just even run into these. Because I want you to think about the situation of this boy. This boy had an inheritance. We don't know how big it was, but he had an inheritance. He had a head start. See, because when you receive an inheritance, you receive a head start in life. He received a head start in life, but he wasted it. Gave it away. He partied. He kicked it with his boys. And now that he's down to his last, guess who he only got to rely on? Himself. And thinking that summertime is coming, because he's wishing, I'm wishing for something. Maybe luck is going to go with me, because maybe he gambled it away. He bet on a single sparrow. Now we know birds a lot of times fly in flocks. So we got one sparrow who just happened to be early in the season. Very early. And he bet his life on it. He depended on the sign, a false sign of the sparrow. Now, how does this compare to us as a people? How does this compare to you? First, because we're going to talk about the people on the people level first. Then we can talk about an individual level. As a people, you know what I'm saying? At one point in time, we had a patrimony. Right? At one point in time, we had. Right? Many of us are so, in a sense, so blessed that we're born with almost, I hate calling them natural abilities, whether it's mental or whatever, and we waste it. We're wasting our gifts. We're wasting our inheritance. The things that we come into this world that we find easy for us to pick up because somehow during our childhood we was able to engage our mind or engage our body in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And we develop a skill for it, because I really don't believe in a natural skill piece, because, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, we tell our kids that, oh, they're so smart. They don't believe they have to work. But many of us, we come with our inheritance from our family, you know, because we've been robbed. We haven't been able to get a patrimony or a matrimony. We haven't been able to get anything from our mother's side or our father's side. We have been robbed. But we are born with natural gifts. We have gifts. We have the ability to develop gifts and develop skills, and many of us are wasting them. Many of us are going to work every day in a place that we hate, working around people we don't like, doing something that we hate. Every day. Some of us is going home and facing people we don't even want to be around. You know, we dealing with that shit, if that makes sense. This dude ran through his blessing. He wasted it. He gave it away. And now that the one thing that's left from the blessing is coming, he's going to gamble on a false prediction, a false omen. He's so wishful in his thinking. Like many of us, we become so wishful in our thinking that we will take our last little bit of talent and we will invest it in something that's going to fly. Rather than taking our stuff now and working with it, pulling it together and building. First building our lives, and then building our lives into our community, and then building our community and building our tribes and working together to build something bigger. No. We wasting all that shit. Many of us, because I'm putting it like this, many of us in the community, we run through our patrimony, we run through our gifts, get rid of all of them, get down to the last gift, get that one away, and then after we done been worn out by life, we want to all of a sudden now turn around and give our life. I'm gonna give it to the community. I'm gonna give it to the church. I'm gonna give. You know what I'm saying? You done burnt up all your shit, and all you have is you. And a lot of y'all be like, well, that's enough. You know what our movement needs? Our movement needs young people. Yeah, we need people with the energy to still get out and do the work. Not just sit around and talk. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us, we allow ourselves, we allow our young people to go out and waste all of their gifts. Rather than having the heart to tell them, you're going to sit your ass down in here. You come over here. You're going to do some work. See, this is a young man who had no guidance. They just gave, they say the best way to kill a fool is to give him a bag full of money. The best way to kill a fool is to give him a bag full of money. Before the bag of money is done, so will that fool's life be. He'll burn it out. And with the blessings, and even as meager as the financial resources we have, how we are doing with it, we are acting like fools. We get our tax returns. Do we invest them? No. We get our tax returns. Do we combine them? No. Do we bribe politicians? Because that's all the political donations are. Do we bribe politicians so that we can make sure we get policy that's going to work? No. Do we take our young and our brightest and be like, yo, we need politicians? No. We are that young man. As a group, we are that young man. We down to our last cloak, family. We down to our last cloak. As a matter of fact, we about to sell our last cloak. Maybe we have already sold our last cloak, and we about to die in the winter of life. In the winter of America that's about to come. You know what I'm saying? We got a sparrow of false hope sitting right there, and we like, oh, dang, spring is right around the corner. Don't let it go. All I'm saying, family, is, listen, as far as a group, we have to start coming together and start being wiser with our talents, because we ain't got no money. I mean, people give us these numbers, but we ain't got no money. But we got talents. And we're not learning all the angles of how to use the talents to build what we need, because we're falling out. We're not responsible to each other. So we just like this man with the cloak. You know what I'm saying? His desires is pulling him one way. His mind is pulling him another. His emotions is pulling him another. So since he all tore up and all his stuff is spread out, he can't even benefit his own life. It was good while it lasted. He had let the good times roll. But now the good times are over. Now he's faced with a pile of shit. And he's looking at it, and all he sees is shit. So, as an individual, if somebody's trying to change their life, if somebody's trying to build up, not only build yourself up, but build other people up. How does this story fit in your life? How can you use it? Can you build with it? I ain't gonna hold y'all up too much longer. So, as a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm gonna be talking about setting up Ujima circles, and anybody that's interested, you know what I'm saying, those that see this later, hit me up, because we are going to be talking about Ujima circles. What is Ujima? Ujima is collective work of responsibility. Developing circles that can hold us responsible for the pledges that we make. Developing groups that can hold us, and I'm not just talking about responsible to the pledges we make to the group. I'm talking about the pledges we make to ourselves. Some of us want to lose weight. Some of us want to stop smoking. Some of us want to find a better relationship. Some of us want to, you know what I'm saying? We want to stop ourselves from being this young man. Sister Tiandra said, we have so many talents, gifts, and intangibles, and we give them to the white man who exploits them in big business and corporations. They make money off of us. That's right. That's right. And the piece is, how can we redirect that energy? Because all money is a flow of energy. You know what I'm saying? It's flow of energy. Can we get the energy coming directly through our hand, rather than other people benefiting directly off of us? Can we learn and develop systems through which we could benefit ourselves? And not only just one individual, but thousands of individuals working together. Can we get these talents to build a flow of energy coming in, so that we can actually build something that's sustainable, that will secure us during the wintertime? We don't even know how much this boy got. He could have had he might have had enough to buy a nice house, but he was kicking it. You know, that's what young people do. Where? You know what I'm saying? Where the young people are doing that, the people are dying. Where the young people have no guidance, people are dying. So, I'm going to end this one early today. Didn't even make an hour, but hopefully it was good. I've taken a stance to refuse to go back. I'm grateful to grow together and use what I have for our community, and I'm with you. And what I'm saying is, we're going to form Ujima circles, so that like these type of pledges, these type of things that we're talking about, we can go on and help hold each other accountable. I mean, because check this out. When you become better, guess what? The collective becomes better. When you lose weight, guess what? The collective lose weight. When you smash a habit, guess what? The collective smashes a habit. To keep us from being more like this young man, and it's being the spendthrift. And think about the word. See, because it's almost, this comes from This is 2,000 years old. This spendthrift. Many of us live our lives as spendthrifts. Look at the lesson of this young man. This young man did not invest any of his money in anything that could produce any type of wealth. This young man was not concerned about being able to increase the money. No, he was more interested in spending money. And think about how we are being trained here in America. Oh, don't worry about making that. We make those cars. Oh, don't worry about that. We make those airplanes. Oh, don't worry about that. We built those universities. Oh, don't worry about it. We got all this for you. You spendthrift. You consumer. This is one of the things that define us as men. I mean, really, in a lot, because we encourage each other as men and women to become spendthrifts, to become consumers. When at one point in time, to be called a consumer was equivalent to being called a bastard. It was a serious insult. This young man 2,000 years ago, because like I keep telling y'all, the issues that we are dealing with now are not new. We have historically dealt with them. Aesop was in the same situation that our ancestors were on a plantation, and the same situation that many of you are right now on your modern plantation. And the question is, will you use the wisdom that is laid out for you to free yourself? Or will you continue on the path of the spendthrift and get down and you find your false prophecy, your false Sparrow, and come back and find out that Sparrow wasn't even smart enough to save his own life. So, hey, this is Brother Hatim. I'm wishing you peace, power, joy, and 100 years. And I want to thank each and every last one of you that are here right now. Miss Tiandra, special shout out to you. Thank you for watching the show and commenting. I don't even know who this is on Facebook, but whoever you are, thank you. You know what I'm saying? And those people that's going to be listening to this on Spreaker later on, because this is my most popular show on Spreaker, I had to just stop taping it on Gye-Nyame Journey and just put it straight on as Folktales for Grown Folks, because that's the one that people be getting. Now, the reason I was late was because I was trying to develop a store so that I could produce t-shirts for the Daily Toast. I'm gonna have t-shirts, I'm gonna have long sleeve shirts, I'm gonna have the sportsmen. I don't want to call them what we call them in the street, right? Those little sports ones, and then also I'm gonna have a hoodie, right? And I'm gonna be developing these, and I'm gonna be selling them. So I posted one up. I had to cancel that, and I had to cancel my order because I forgot a word. So I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna recreate it, and hopefully by Nia, I have to store it because I don't feel like doing it right now. Plus, I got some bottles. Some people ordered. Some elders have ordered the ambrosia, and if anybody's in contact with the elders, let them know that the ambrosia is coming. All right, so yo, family, I want to say peace once again. I'm out. This is Gye-Nyame Journey. Let me try that again. This is Gye-Nyame Journey. I am your host, Brother Hatim, and of course, you know this is Folktales for Grown Folks. Send the kids to bed. But we strive to blow up those old paradigms. And you know what? I'm out. All right, Speaker, I want to thank y'all for listening in. And of course, you know I'm out. Much love. All right, YouTube, guess what? I'm gone.